This is Rich Cramer with Big Mountain Enduro, and this is the Beyond the Rod podcast. This season, we'll be checking in with mountain bike athletes, brands, and individuals doing big things for the sport of mountain biking. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of Beyond the Rod. This week, we talk with Colton Peterson, the 2022 men's BME champ. And on this episode, we just jump right into a conversation about last year's canceled event at Mount Bachelor due to wildfires. So enjoy the conversation. Here is Colton Peterson. Here we go. Here we go.
Yo.
Here we go. Yeah. What's up, my boy?
How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are these fine?
Yeah, man. Loud and clear. Well, that's the cool thing about the lifestyle, right? I mean, you were going anyway. Might as well just go and ride.
No, exactly. We were like, why we weren't going to get our money back for the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so we were like, screw it. Let's just have fun. And it actually turned out to be in like one of the, like a super fun trip. Like I had a blast. I got my race run still in like,
yeah.
It was like right before, when was that? It was right before I was going overseas.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you just were feeling that good that you were just going to go up there and race by yourself and the smoke and the wild animals, the only thing up there at that time?
No, seriously. Well, when we got there, like it was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The smoke was pretty bad. And then like the next morning we went up and Drew, my team manager, I think you met him, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We went up there and he wanted me to do my race run still. And we went up there early as soon as like the lifts open, and it was like actually like pretty clear. And we're like, dude, we can do this. Like I can do my race runs today still. And so I did like 4 like decently like fast paced runs as like fast as I could go pretty much by myself. It's so different racing by yourself or whatever. Like but yeah, I got those done. And then the smoke like rolled in at like noon. And then we were like, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, it was weird because there were some days where we were there for like a week, almost like 10 days. And there were some days where like, oh yeah, it's on. We're definitely doing it. Even the night before we had like a campfire chat. We were like, it's on. There's no doubt about it. We're racing.
Yeah.
We're here to race. We get the struggle of it all. And then we went up there the next morning and man, we just had to like find indoor space to chill out, talk with the mountain ops people. And then the decision was made, but it was spooky being up there that morning, like looking up at the mountain and all you could see was this smoke rolling in. It was wild.
Yeah. When did you guys get there?
We got there the Sunday before race weekend. So,
okay.
Yeah, we got there early and I'm naive enough. I was just, when I come home, I'm busy with my family, my kids and stuff. So I was just like off to Oregon and I get to Oregon and they're like, what are you doing here? Like, there's a big forest fire up there.
That's funny.
So we just sat around for like a week.
Funny.
We just sat around for like a week, just waiting. So,
dang. Yeah, we got those done, and then Drew and I we were just doing like some testing and stuff, and then left from there, and that's when I went to France.
We got to get into that because I've got 100.
Yeah, because that was a very interesting trip because we went to France. There was like that break, remember? Because like it was from Bryan Head, and then we had like 2 weeks off, and then we went to Oregon or whatever, and then it was like straight to France it was France and Trophy of Nations. Mm-hmm. So it was weird because I don't like having breaks like that.
Yeah, that's probably why you like to ride in Oregon because you knew you were just gonna. And plus, you were heating up, man. You were on fire. I mean, so you just keep the momentum going. So
yeah, it was different just because like you get in that mindset, like you get like like you just get in a good mindset at the time, and like you find the flow, like what you were saying, and I like found the flow, and it was just like a break. It felt like my season was over.
Yeah, but then you had, like you said, that then you knew you were going overseas, so keeping loose in Bend was probably a good idea. Did you leave straight from Oregon to go overseas?
Yeah, I went. Yeah, just I flew. I had to do some testing with Maxxis. I did like a testing for some new tires, and like the day before I flew out, and I went straight there. I like literally one day after Bend, I flew straight to France, and then got there, and I was like super jet lagged because it was like literally 4 days before the race.
Yeah. And you had some wild traveling coming up to that. I mean, your season, didn't you get like stuck in Maine or something coming out of an EWS?
Oh yeah, dude, that was crazy.
And you showed up within a day, maybe coming into Brian Head?
It was, because so we were in Sugarloaf, I believe. Yeah, Sugarloaf was the last race, I think it was, over on the EWS things. And Aiden and I go to I forgot what the airport was, but it was like International Airport, and we're like, oh, it's like it's a big airport, like we're gonna be fine. We get there, and Drew drops us off, and I remember Drew was on the phone with one of the airport ladies or whatever for like an hour, and just got nothing out of her like whatsoever. It was hilarious, but the flight got canceled the next morning. And we're like, okay, like we're going to be stuck here. We got rebooked for the next day. And it was like Tuesday for like the rebooking. And we're like, okay, that's not bad. We'll get to Vegas. And then we honestly just hung out in the hotel all day Monday. And Monday night at like 11 o'clock at night, we get another text message saying flight canceled again. Man. And we were like, dude, what is going on? Like they're just going to keep doing this because I supposedly there was like bad weather or something like that. And so we're like, all right, what do we do? What do we do? And then we actually ended up the next morning. We rented a car from we were way up in Maine, like I don't even know where we were, to be honest with you. Middle of nowhere. And we rented a car. Aiden and I booked it to Boston. We booked it to Boston it was like 4-hour drive or something like that. We actually almost missed our flight for that because it took so long. We had like credit card problems and stuff, and they didn't want us to like rent a car or something like that. And we actually almost missed that flight, but we made it to Boston on time and got to Vegas at like midnight. I think midnight Tuesday. We didn't get there till Wednesday morning. I believe it was like Wednesday at like 2 a.m. And then the next day obviously was practice.
Yeah. Welcome to Utah, 11,000 feet straight out the gate, backcountry, everything. Yeah. And then you end up winning the race by 0.02 seconds.
Dude, I'm not going to lie, that was one of the craziest races I've ever been to.
Yeah. Yeah. That place was crazy on many, many levels. Many levels.
Yeah. Just like the videos don't do it justice there.
Yeah. No, not at all.
You saw it. You saw how chunky it was and stuff.
Yeah, and it was like they were fighting some massive erosions. Like they must have been going through summer storms because that's what I felt like. Every time I looked at a trail, it was just eroded. It was like rain ruts. Yeah, big, nasty rain ruts, and they just left those huge rocks. It was so rocky.
Yeah. I know.
To the point where it was interesting watching you guys like pick your lines. Like some of those gullies were so V'd out that you guys were actually. Yeah. I saw you guys hopping on top and kind of skimming.
Yeah, like we were going on like the outsides and like kind of like trying to go around them and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah, that was an interesting race. I remember going into that and I was like, and dude, this is crazy because I was like coming off of like a really good result. I got 9th at Sugarloaf.
Yep.
At the EWS. And I was like, I remember going into the race at Brian Head, and I was like, okay, if I can get 9th at like a world event, like there's no reason why I can't like win or like get like 1 or 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And compete for a win. And that was just my mindset going into that race. And like I did good at that race the year before too. So I was like, I had the confidence going into that race.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember talking with you, and your only advice was when I talked to you, you were like, you just got to go fast. This is the mountain where you just got to go fast. And when you look at it, you go, I'm not going fast down this. This is not,
there's so many loose rocks there that it's like so sketchy. I just remember talking to like, who was it? I can't remember who I was talking to, but it was just like, it's like the world's sketchiest place to race a bike.
Yeah, it was. It was. But you ended up winning by a crazy margin, 0.2. What was it over Cody?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
nuts. It was nuts.
I remember, do you remember coming
I've
up
never
to
seen
me
you like that.
after?
Yeah, because I was in the woods most of the day. So unfortunately, you know, I knew it was close and stuff. And then I just gotten off the mountain and you were like at the finish tent looking at the screen. Yeah, and you were jumping. You were jumping around.
Dude,
And I quite didn't understand.
I
knew you won. I knew you'd won, but I was like, oh, that'd be awesome. 0.02 or something. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'll walk you through it, but I remember coming into the last stage, Cody was up by like, I can't remember. He was up like all weekend. He had me on the first day by like, I think 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And I was like, okay, I can pull that back. Like I knew some of those downhill stages I was like pretty good at, and I was like, maybe I could pull back some time on there. But he's so fast on like the what's it called, like the corner tracks and the more pumpy stuff. Like, he's so good at that stuff. And I was like, dude, I gotta just like stay within a couple seconds of him, and which I did a couple times. I actually went off track on stage 4. I made a big mistake on stage 4, I think it was. And I was actually super pissed because I was like, dude, there goes the race.
Right.
And I got down and I was only like 3 seconds off. And I was surprised and I was like, okay. And then it was like the last 2 stages were the downhill stages. And I remember going into the second to last stage and I was like, okay, like it's all or nothing right here. And I remember, oh yeah, those are the times.
Yeah. Yeah, those are them. Yeah, so stage 3, you fourth, or no, you were first then, and stage 4 second. You guys were right. You guys were neck and neck the whole day.
It was stage 5. Stage 5 was like that hard one. That's the one I did kind of bad on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got third. But yes, and then stage 6 and 7, I was like, okay, I got to like turn it up a notch because those were like the downhill stages. And so I remember going into stage 6, I felt really comfortable and I was on a heater. Like I felt really good. I felt fast. And there was this line at the bottom that I didn't know. There was like an inside line. I thought they were going to tape it. I thought you guys were going to tape it, to be honest with you. And so like, I just didn't go that way. And so I went on like all the way around and I actually ended up still winning. That stage was sick, but I was like, bro, that could have been like 3 more seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Stage 6 and 7, you won. And then did you know, like when you got done, did you know, or did you have to go like check the scoreboard and like really look at stuff?
Okay. So I got down through the stage and I was like, dude, no one's going to beat that time. Like that's going to be a good time. Like I instantly knew. I was like, dude, I risked everything I possibly could on that stage. And I was like, I just like knew it. Bottom of my heart, I was like, this has got to be it. It was like all or nothing. I gave it everything I had. And I remember going to sit down in under the Maxxis tent.
Yeah.
And I sat down there and the Cannondale tent was like across from me, remember? And I sat down there and I was like, does anyone know the times? Does anyone know the times? And no one was around. No one was like, there was like a couple people around and I'm like, where is everyone? And I'm like trying to like refresh my feed on my phone the entire time. And I'm like shaking. I was like straight up shaking. I was like, bro, this is it. Like, so I go up, I actually realized everyone was at the bottom of the last stage still. And I don't know where you were actually. I think you were timing. Were you timing?
I was timing all day, but I'd just come down. I saw you at the bottom of the lift. I just come out off the mountain. And then I saw you and I was like, oh shit, he must have won for sure.
Yeah, because so like then crazy. So I go up to like everyone is like hanging out and stuff. And I was like, did Cody come down? And Cody come down? And they're like, no, he's coming down right now. And he comes down and I'm like, we're all refreshing our phones. Like everyone wants to know like what, because it was within a couple of seconds on the last stage. So it was like anyone's game pretty much. Yeah. And I remember my phone was the first to upload and my name jumped to the top and I was like, no way. I was like, holy crap. And then I looked at the time and it was by 0.2.
Crazy.
And I was like, holy crap. I remember I gave Aiden like 3 hugs at the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah, you
everyone was
gave me
like,
a
dude, I'm
big
so
bear
stoked for
hug. It
you.
was wild. It was
Yeah,
wild.
it was so sick. And well, yeah, I mean, we trained together for
Hmm.
like from when was it? I don't even know, from January all the way up till April. Like we've been training together for a while, so we know
Yeah.
how much like work put into it.
Yeah.
So it felt really special.
It's so cool. And people, I don't think people know how close some of these stages are and overall races are. I mean, to be going that consistent at that speed that you guys go through and to be that close
Yeah.
on some stages is wild. It's wild. So hats off to you guys
Yeah.
for.
And I remember it was like a really special moment too at the time. Cause like I got down, I was like riding my bike down after, and like Drew was like, he was like, yo, you won. And I was like, holy shit. Like gave him a big hug and stuff. And I was like, dude, that's so sick. Like all the work he's put in for us. And it
Yeah.
felt good to give back, you know?
That's cool, man. Because, well, let's start. I don't even think we introduced you, but you are Colton Peterson, the reigning BME champ, and you are now a factory Maxxis rider.
Yeah,
Your
it's pretty sick.
first factory ride. I mean, how crazy is this?
Yeah, I know it feels like a long time, but it really hasn't been. It's only been like I've only been racing 4 years now.
So let's
4 or
start because I
5.
have a ton of questions too. Because I've known you for 2 seasons now, and
Yeah.
when I met you, you were not on a factory ride. So let's just start there.
No.
When I met you at Big Sky, you were racing for Aaron on Go Green Racing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so I know you're anxious to tell some stories. So I even want to hear
Yeah, I
a
got a
little bit
lot.
before that. I want to hear, how did Aaron find you? How did you guys meet up? And then obviously, like, when I saw you in Ironton, Missouri, you're a factory rider now. I was like, holy shit, he did it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is, dude, my life story is crazy.
Go
So,
ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
the beginning part of how Aaron met me, I was, I was in the town. I don't know if you heard of Buena Vista.
Yeah.
Buena Vista, Colorado, a small little town. Not too many people know about it, but that's where I was from, or not from, but I'm from Chicago. But that's where I was living at the time. And I was racing for like a shop. It was like a kind of like a shop deal where I get like a bike and race for the shop and stuff. And I remember Aaron, he like came into one of the shops and was like, "Hey, like, what's like the fastest racer?" What happened to the screen?
I got you live.
He was
Go
like,
ahead.
what's like the fastest racer on like around town right now? Because he was setting up like a gravel race team
Yeah.
for this like 100-mile gravel race. And I was like, what? Like, I don't race gravel, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he was like, well, I'll pay you, like, pay your entry, all this, like, entry, bike, all this stuff. And I was like, I can use the money. Like, this sounds kind of cool. And I remember I had like 3 weeks or something to train for this 100-mile gravel race. And he was like, yeah, I'll pay you out, like, if we do good and all this stuff, like
This is
travel,
Aaron telling you
everything's
this?
covered. Yeah, this is Aaron telling me
Okay.
this.
I can
And
just picture this.
this is like the first time meeting him too. Like
He's
first
so
time meeting him,
intense.
everything.
So
I'm
intense.
like, what is going on? Like some kid, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just some
Yeah.
random kid trying to race for a living and get offered this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is sick. And so I was like, yeah, why not? So I'm training on this gravel bike for this 100-mile race. And at the time, goes up to, I don't remember when it was. I think it was like September. It was after one of my enduro seasons, like early on. And I was like pretty smoked already. And he like comes over, picks me up, and we go to the airport and stuff. And we go to this gravel race together, and we fly together and stuff. And it was sick because he had like, I remember he had like a driver drive all of our bikes from Colorado to Texas. And we get to the hotel room, and like our bikes are in our hotel room.
Yeah, proper. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
great.
dude, like I'm on a factory team now. Like this
Yeah.
is sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get there and it was like one of the hardest races I've ever done in my entire life. I'm not even kidding. I barely got through it. I remember getting through that 100-mile race, and he was like hugging everyone while they were done. and everyone was soaked. It was 95-degree like gravel race. Just, the humidity in Texas is terrible. Nuts. And I get done and I'm bone dry. Just have nothing left in my body, like just borderline heat stroke. But yeah, that was my first time really like hanging out with Aaron, and I was like, holy shit. And then ended up like having like a really good relationship for like 2 years with him. I started working with him. I started like working with him and then living with him at the time. Up until, when was it? Last December.
What a great guy. What a great philosophy he's put into this sport. I mean, there couldn't be a better like ambassador of somebody that just lives adrenaline, lives sport, lives adventure.
Yeah, dude. He does all sorts of crazy stuff, like any sport you can think of.
I know.
But yeah, we had some really good times. Like I had like, it was like I worked with him. He would pay me really well. Like we did everything together at the time.
Yeah, good shout out to Aaron. And so, and then does he start putting together an enduro tour for you, everybody, and you guys are off to BME land, or what? Tell me how that happened.
So he like knew my goals and stuff, like what I wanted, and so he invested a lot of his time and money into me at the time. And then his son, actually Israel, he wasn't racing at the time when I first got on, and then when Israel like saw that like what I was doing and like was racing and riding bikes more, he actually started riding bikes more and then started racing with us. And so that's how he kind of got into it. Cause me and Aaron were training and riding together all the time. And then his son like hopped on and, we all started riding together and stuff. And so that's how Israel got in. And then, the season started.
When I met you. So did you? Yeah. The season I met you, you were on Go Green. Did you do a season prior to that for Go Green, or was that your first season?
I think I did 2 seasons with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I think I did 1 season as like a privateer, and then I did 2 seasons with Go Green. I did 2 seasons with Go Green. I think that's how it was. It's hard to remember. I can't remember all these.
And then, so I'll fill everybody in. I met you at Montana. I was there just kind of off my own life goals of trying to.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, remember that. And then, like I'm in the lift line, and Aaron just starts talking to me like loudly, just, yeah, man, this place is badass, and just raging at me.
Wasn't he talking about like Baja 1000 stuff too?
I think so. He was all over the place. And then you and Israel were just like laying on the grass, just chilling, just whatever. And he was like, yeah, see these 2 dudes here? These 2 guys, man, they're the ripping. They're out here killing it, man. You better watch out. You better keep your eye on them.
Okay. So this is actually a crazy story. And I don't know if you know this. But later that day, you met me, and then Aiden and I had a bet, with his mom. Okay. We had a bet going on, and it was on, I can't remember what stage it was. I don't know if you could pull up results either. It was like BME, Big Sky 2021 or 2020. I don't know, but you could maybe do it or bring it up. But we had a bet saying like who can beat each other on stage 6 or whatever. I think it was like a 1:23 stage. It was like something short, because he shows up to our camper at the time, and he's like, I showed him this video of this like drop, and I was like, dude, this drop's pretty gnarly. And he's like, why are you going so slow? And I was like, bro, it's my first lap. Like, I'm going slow. And his mom goes, $100 on whoever beats each other on this stage.
Nice.
Okay. And so we go up to the stage. Aiden gets done. He puts a heater down, like I think like the fastest of the day. And I can't remember what his time was. It was like a 1 or 2 minute stage. And he was like, good luck or whatever. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to beat it. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not going to try that hard. And then I got to the top, and I was like, dude, I'm going to put a heater down. And I go into it, and I've never felt like this before in my life. Like, I had nothing going on in my head, just like nothing, and just like sent it on this stage. And I actually ended up having the overall best time, like beating Richie Rude on that stage. It was like my best result to
I
date.
do remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember somebody telling me that you took a stage on Rude. That was awesome. I do remember that.
Yeah. It was super sick.
Big Sky was fun, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I got $100.
There you go. You got $100. Yeah, man.
So Richie, if you're listening to this, that was the whole reason why I beat you.
You had to get that $100. A young up and coming racer's getting that bucks.
Yeah, I needed $100.
Yeah, it was a trip, man. And then somehow I ended up on the lift with you guys, and you were nice enough. This was cool. This was like my first big enduro with pros at it and stuff, and I was way intimidated, of course. And at Big Sky, of course, I mean the whole thing is intimidating up there. And you guys were cool enough to like just chat with me. And then I got to the top of the lift. I was like, you know what? I think this is my chance to follow some guys that are really riding like awesome. And I just kind of tailed on you. I don't even know if you knew I was there or not, but I tailed on you, and you guys went down what turned into mine shaft at the bottom. It's a really kind of gnarly. And you and Israel stopped and looked at it. It was you, Aaron, and Israel at the top sitting there looking at it. And I kind of pulled up. And it was my first time watching somebody kind of scout something and then hit it. And I watched you two guys just fly over this mine shaft obstacle. And it was like a drop into a gully. And I just couldn't imagine. So anyway, you guys were taking that at speed, and it was my glimpse into it. And of course, I was like on the chicken line and stuff. But then, like during my race run, I have video of this. During my race run, this is kind of brutal. During my race run, I get...
Is this you crashing?
Yeah, watch this. So this is me coming into mine shaft at Big Sky. And I'm like, okay, this is the obstacle that I saw those boys drop in on. This is that stage. Yeah. Yeah, and then you notice people are up here like, oh shit, something's coming up. And I just walked this before. Of course, I get the chicken line, man, and I get out of that rut.
Oh, you got like cross-rutted.
That's not even the worst of it. I get back on here, and I can't get clipped in. And I'm just on the saddle. So I'm like struggling to get clipped in, and right here.
Went straight over the bar.
Straight over. Mouthful of
dude,
dirt.
that's like sand right there.
Yeah.
Were you okay? Oh, I remember like coming up to you after, and you were like all like cuts and bruises and like in slings.
I was so dirty. And this guy here, he's like, get your bike. And I'm like, nah, dude. I know. Listen to this guy. Oh, you can't hear him. He goes, yeah, man, you took a digger, man. He's like, you took a header. It's like, good job.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. It was crazy. But anyway.
That's gnarly. Dude, that section is gnarly.
Yeah. I mean, that whole mountain.
The video doesn't do justice.
No, not at all. And then the whole mountain was kind of like that, you know? Like, it was... like,
dude, I'm so excited to go back.
Yeah, me too. I was so bummed that got canceled last year. So bummed.
Do you know about this story too?
You rode that
we
too
actually
after
were
the
there.
race got canceled. You rode that too.
Well, dude, we got some hate for that, but
you got me in trouble. I got in a little trouble too.
Did you?
Well, I think I overstepped my boundaries a little bit because I started sending on your social media. I was like, look, man, are you sure we're canceling this? I was like, people are riding up there.
Well, so like we didn't know. Like Aiden and I, like, we rented a car from Kellogg. It only made sense. Like, get this. It was gonna cost me more money to go home and then fly to Bozeman and come there. You know what I mean? Like it was only 2 weekends away. It only made sense to just go there now instead of buying like in total 4 plane tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And
so we were like, dude,
place.
Exactly. And so we were like, okay, let's just get like a rental car and just book it to Big Sky. We rented an Airbnb, we split it, and it was like, honestly don't remember how much it was. It was decently cheap. Like Big Sky's expensive. And it was like the cheapest thing we got. And it turned out to be in like one of the best trips Aiden and I have had because we were just fooling around for a week and a half because, so we get there and since we knew that like everyone was going to be there, we only rented the car for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we had to drop the car off in Bozeman and then go back to Big Sky, but no one showed up.
Yeah.
So
Nobody showed up.
we were like, okay. Yeah. So no one showed up. So it was just me and Aiden there. And so we dropped the car off in Bozeman, and thankfully I knew a friend in Bozeman. She picked us up and took us all the way to Big Sky. So shout out to her, Madeline.
Yeah.
That was super clutch. And then we hung out in the village and rode. I probably can't say this over, but we rode trails
Yeah.
all week.
And there was snow up there too.
Yeah. And so, you know, what's even crazier? We actually like cleared a bunch of trees for them. So we made it less work for them so we could ride.
Yeah. I saw that on your Instagram.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get in anyone trouble.
That's right. That's right. We'll move on to a different venue. So let's go all the way back to the beginning of the season, to where I show up to Ironton, Missouri, and I see you riding for Maxxis. You're hooked up with a team and you get to Ironton, Missouri. What did you think about that? Were you there the year before?
I was there the year before.
Yeah.
Did you actually know that I was on the team yet or no? Like,
No,
I can't remember if you were on social media at the time.
I think I just either had taken a break or had other things on my mind until season got there. And then I just started reaching out to people that I was like, oh yeah, I'm working this year for BME. I think I just started kind of reaching out. And you were like,
I remember it. I remember I got a DM.
I'll be there. And then as soon as I got to town,
I remember you DM me.
Yeah. You were like, yeah, I'm at the Maxxis tent. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a good race, because I like going into that race, like I didn't know what to expect. I mean, no one knows what to expect on the first race, and it's a BME, and so like everyone's gonna go out hard, and like everyone's been training for. Yeah, it was a stacked class.
Yeah.
And like going into the season, it was like fresh team for me. I like didn't know what to expect. I didn't want to let anyone down. You know what I mean? Like it's like brand new. Like I didn't want to like do something wrong or whatever. So I had a lot of nerves going into it. But then again, I was like, I did all the work to get here. Like there's nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose. And so like went out on that. It was really hot. Remember, it was like 90 degrees and humidity was terrible.
Yeah.
And I remember going out on like practice days and I was pretty toasted. And then I feel pretty comfortable there just because it's like shorter and like rockier.
Yeah.
Nothing. I grew up in like Chicago. So like, you know what I mean? Those are like the closest thing I can get to home trails. So I like went into that first day, like pretty confident from like my training and everything. And had a good first day. I think was it the first day that I lost my shoe?
Dude, I was just going to talk about this. Like,
so I think
the craziest thing, because it shows too. If you look at these numbers,
Yep. It was first day.
What? Well, that was the whole talk of the day. Was somebody rode this stage, man, without a shoe? Like all the spectators were talking about it.
And it was the gnarliest stage.
Yeah, it was like off-camber waterfall section. Cannonball. No, it was Cannonball. I think it was Cannonball.
It was Cannonball. I hope everyone that's listening to this goes and rides Cannonball with tries to go ride Cannonball with no shoe and tell me how it feels.
Try to ride Cannonball legit. I mean, that was a tough trail. Like that was a tough trail. So anyway, so there's rumor going around that a pro finished the stage with one shoe. So let's take it from there.
So let me walk you through that. So first 2 stages went well. We get done. And I remember going up with Aiden at the time, like looking at our phones. Like we check our phones after the stages all the time. It's probably a bad habit, but we're looking at it, and I did pretty well. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm like on pace. Like I'm on pace right now with like Richie and them.
Yep.
And so going into the third stage,
you're 4 and 3, fourth and third.
Yep.
Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Go ahead.
So get to stage 3. I like knew it was the gnarliest stage and the one stage that's probably going to determine the race. And I was like, because it's like, it's proper and as you can see, it's one of the longest stages.
Right.
And so I go into it going good. And then I remember there was this like right-hand corner And I just remember slapping it so hard that I remember it was my right shoe. I think it was my right shoe. Yeah, it was my right shoe. Just comes off. I thought it was clipped in still. I looked back and it was like on the ground back there. And I was like, dude, do I get off my bike and just go get it? And I was like, no, that's gonna be way too much time. Like, this is all within 1 second of thinking. Yeah. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just going. I'm halfway down. And I just remember going down. It was the most painful thing ever because I have clips and there's like spikes kind of on the end too.
Sure.
And I remember it was like the gnarliest part coming up to it. I was like all over the place, but I actually ended up not doing that bad on the stage.
You finished. That's number one. I mean,
yeah, I finished. And so then I got down and I was like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And I was calling, who did I call? I can't remember. I think I called Drew and I was like, dude, I lost my shoe. And he goes, yeah, I know. I'm looking for your damn shoe right now. And he was like, nobody can find it. And I'm like, how do I lose a shoe and no one can find it? And I can't remember who found it, but someone found it and brought it to the top. And I transferred all the way from the bottom to the top with no shoes still.
Right. And those were like push transfers. Those were tough transfers too. And
and I look at the bottom of my I look at the bottom of my foot and it was like black and blue and bleeding.
That's a trip.
It was so gnarly.
It's a trip.
Yeah. And so then dude, that race was so like, it was such bad luck for me. So then second day, I'm pretty sure it was a 2-day race. Yeah. And second day, I go into one of the stages and my chain fell off on halfway down one of the stages. And I was so pissed. Because I was like, dude, this was a good run.
Well, you weren't the only
it ended up turning out good. I got fourth over the weekend.
Exactly. You weren't the only one. That place beat up some bikes. That place chewed up some bikes. Max Dupre came down with like the axle off his bike, like clinging down in between the spokes. It was it was beating up bikes left and right. So
I'm curious on how Arkansas is going to be.
Well, yeah, me too. We're going down there in February. I know the guys have been on a lot of calls with them, and there's actually a trail building crew down there right now. So they're setting in brand new trails just for us, just for you guys, I should say. But I'm
excited.
Yeah, I've looked at some YouTube video and stuff, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that Missouri thing, like just out in the middle of nowhere, and then there's
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Some raw features. I mean, there's no bike park stuff there. That's for sure. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And same rock. Thing with, just rock. Arkansas rock. I don't know.
I've never been there, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I haven't either. And then we go to Phoenix, which is new for us too. I don't know if you've looked into that at all, but that's brand new too.
I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've done some research on it, but I think it's apparently the same thing where it's not a resort setup. I think it's a I don't know what you call it, a town setup or whatever. But apparently there's amazing riding there, so we'll be there after that, and then back to the 3 stops that we're familiar with. You know,
heck yeah, I'm so excited for the season.
I know. And then we finish in Big Sky where it's supposed to be. Man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Do you feel?
I'm looking forward to it.
Do you feel pressure on you now, coming out of there, the champ, and with the number 1 plate? Do you feel any pressure, or do you feel the boys talking smack yet? Or
honestly, I don't feel any pressure really, nice. Which is kind of surprising. But I don't know. I'm just like gonna go out there and do my thing.
Well, look, I pulled a video that says you might feel pressure. I don't know. These guys were kind of talking like,
"Oh, you have this video?" No way.
I ain't nervous. They keep telling me I'm nervous, but I'm not.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Top of stage 2 in the backcountry, or stage 1 in the backcountry?
Yeah. I think it was stage 1 on the first day. Yeah. And I get up there and they're all like, you're going first. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm not going first. Yeah. Like, I don't want to go first. Like, what if there's a tree down or some shit? I don't know.
Oh, I do remember you asking me, because it was like first thing in the morning. And this was wild out there. Now that I'm remembering all this, there were hunters out there that weren't too happy with what was going on out there. So they were taking.
Dude, everything was going through my mind at the time.
Yeah. And you got up and I was starting that stage and you were like, has anybody pre-run this for real? Has anybody been down this yet this morning? I was like, oh yeah. We've pre-run it for sure. But that must be a little jittery, dude, like being the first to drop in a backcountry stage. That's gotta be a little.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it was just like, I've never really gone first in front of like a big group like that either. So everyone was like putting the pressure on me and I was like, dang, I don't want to be the one that gets caught, you know?
You're not going to get caught. Who's going to catch you? Who's going to?
Well, I didn't know at the time. Like everyone's fast nowadays. I know, you never know.
So fast. So,
but I remember you saying, you were like, Colton, get here. You're going first, and I was like, all right.
I had to get the show started.
It kind of like fired me up. It kind of fired me up, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. It was,
and cool, I got second on the stage. So
it's cool watching you start and watching you get in the zone up there. Like that was one of the coolest things about my job this past summer was like getting up there in the start and watching everybody. Everybody's got a little different. Some people are loose. Some people are focused and dialed in. And then sometimes you guys are just, BSing with each other. And it's just the coolest atmosphere like that you guys have. It's a good group of guys.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how I'm like going up to your race runs and stuff. And there's just like, there's so much going on in your head that like, no one really like says anything about what's going on in your head. Everyone's kind of like distracting it and trying to talk like everything's okay. But we all know that like you're thinking about your race run and everything. And so I don't know, it's different. And like, it's kind of crazy to like get into the mindset of like, okay, I'm about to go risk my life down the stage.
Yeah. At full speed, as least amount of brakes as possible. And then knowing you got some badasses coming right behind you.
No, exactly. Yeah. No, it's definitely nerve-wracking.
So what would be your preference on a day like this then? Was it nice just to get it out of the way and off and running, or do you like to sit back and kind of see what everybody else is doing?
Dude, I don't know. I've kind of been on I've been like trying to do more of just like focusing on myself, like just the more I look at stuff and like watch other people go down stuff and in front of me, like I only talk myself down.
Right.
Like I like look at how people go through a section and I'm like, do I look that fast going through that? Or like, am I going that fast? Or like, do I need to go do that line? But then like I get in the zone of like doing my own thing. And I'm like, that was easy. Like, why am I stressing about this stuff? Like I just got to trust myself more, like more confidence and just like, I don't know. I had the speed last year. So I was like, just like telling myself each run, I was like, dude, like I deserve to be like up here. And like I've been showing results and stuff and like just go do my thing, what I've been doing all year.
That's good for you, man. That's really cool to see you get in that mind space and say that, you do deserve to be up there riding with these guys. And you've obviously proven that and you've earned respect from everybody up there. So do you do anything on the off season? Or do you do any kind of like training, like visualization training, anything like that? Any kind of like sports therapy that some people do of confidence building or anything?
I haven't gotten into anything like that, but I would like to be honest with you, because I could definitely use the training. Cause like coming like right now, like I'm pretty nervous going into like just today, going to watch my buddy Aiden race. I actually didn't race today. Going to watch the races and like get into that mindset is like so hard. Cause like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like a total different, just like mentality of like,
it takes a lot out of
going into races. Yeah. Like when I'm in race mode, like it's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else on my mind. It's the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm so focused in the moment. And like, I mean, that's what you have to do in order to do good at these races is like to just like dedicate everything you have to what's going on that day.
Yeah, for sure. It shows. All you can tell that all of the pro riders kind of get in their own zone, definitely clear mental space, get ready to drop. It's awesome watching Cody get into a whole nother zone. He gets wild up there. He turns into a little animal. He's such a competitor. I can't wait to talk to him on this too.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to actually listen to what he has to say too.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. That's awesome. So, real quick, we've got to touch on some stories about overseas because I'm so
real quick. Are we almost done?
No, man, we'll stay on here all night if you want. I don't care.
All right, cool.
We're good.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're just getting started.
I know. So let's talk about overseas because this was as like a fan of mountain biking, a fan of enduro racing. This was new on my radar. This Trophy of Nations, this team sport, this enduro team event. Were you always aware of this? Was this a dream that you wanted to do to make happen, or did it just happen?
Dude, this was crazy at the time. So going into the season, I had no idea what it was really. Like I saw it happen and I was like, coming into the season, I was shooting for like top fives. Like that was my goal for the season, was top fives. And so I was like, okay, they only picked top 3 people. It wasn't even on my radar, because if it was on my radar, I would have gone to the first, there was a first EWS qualifier in Tennessee, I believe. And a lot of people went, and I didn't even think of it at the time, but it was like very valuable points to get there, to get on the Trophy of Nations team. For all the people that don't know how to do it, or like don't know what it's going, like don't know what it is, but you need like a certain amount of points in order to be on this team. And so you can only get points at EWS and EWS qualifier events. It can't just be like any races. So I was only at like, I think only 2 EWS qualifier events all year. And one of them was Kellogg, and the other one was USA Nationals. And I got 7th and 4th, so it wasn't much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know at the time. And then I remember talking to my buddy Nick Nesteroff, like middle season, going to Whistler. And I was like, dude, how sick would it be to go to Trophy Nations together? Like we could potentially have a shot. Like I remember I was like in the 5th spot at the time. And going into Whistler, I was like, what's that?
And where was Nick on the list? Like, was he right with you?
I think Nick was 2nd.
Okay, he was
I think Nick was, yeah. I think it was Nick, 2nd or 3rd, because Mitch Ropalato was right there too at the time, because he was racing. I think he raced like the first couple EWSs. I can't remember, but he had a decent amount of points at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, I honestly don't know where I was. I was down in the list. I didn't even think I had a shot. So then I go to the EWS Whistler one, and I got 30th. So I got like a decent amount of points there, or 31st. I got a decent amount of points, and then went to, what was it? Burke was next. I got 24th. I was actually sick at that one. That was like one of really hard race to do, but I knew I just like dig deep for these points. At that time, I was like shooting to go for this, because I was like, I have a chance. Yeah. And got 24th, got a decent amount of points again. And then the last race, I got 9th. And I remember talking to Drew at the time at Sugarloaf before, and I was like, dude, this is the race to decide if I go or not. Because I was on the verge. Like it was like, dude, there's like 3 other people that could have gone. It was like Miles Morgan, Max Sedlak, and I think Mitch Ropalato too. But I just remember I had to get like a certain amount of points in order for me to go. And so there was like a ton of pressure on me at that race. And I hate the mud. Absolutely hate the mud. And it was like one of the muddiest races we did all year. And in like the hardest races we've done all year, like Sugarloaf was gnarly, like off-cambered routes, and everyone had a tough time there if you like saw. But and I actually ended up getting 9th there, and I was like, holy crap, like this could be it. And then we went to Bryant Head. Yep. And then that wasn't an EWS qualifier event or anything, so it didn't matter. But I remember winning that, and then 2 days later, I got the email of saying like, you're invited.
Nice.
And I was like, this is the best week ever.
Yes. Yeah, it's all falling into place. It's all falling into place. All the hard work's paying off.
was like everything that I was training for just like happened all with that week.
Yeah.
I peaked during that week.
Yeah. Some people peak in high school. You peaked in 1 week.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool, man. So then
yeah, I
who else
remember
makes
getting
the
the
team?
email.
Who else is on the team at this point?
It was me. It was me, Nick Nestroff, and Richie Rude.
Yeah, perfect. So
and then Max Sedlak was the alternate rider.
Nice. So then you guys get the word, and then BME wraps up. We cancel, Bend, and then you're off. And now whose team are you on now? Is Maxxis involved at this point, or do you get re-sponsored, or what happens?
No, it was basically like, thankfully I have amazing sponsors, Maxxis Factory Racing. They helped out a lot, and Drew paid for my flight and everything over there, and it was awesome. But normally, if it was just like you got the invite, it would be on your own.
Right.
So yeah, I have some awesome support from amazing partners, and can't thank them enough. Yeah. So shout out to them. And yeah, and it was sick. Like, it's basically all on your own if you don't have the right support. But yeah, it was like me, Nick, and Richie there. And Richie had his mechanic and stuff. I had my mechanic, Drew. And Nick had a mechanic for himself too there, I believe. But yeah, it was.
And then are you awesome. Right into racing? Do you get time to feel the place out? And then what was the schedule? Was it 1, 2, 3 days of racing? Like what is this trophy?
So basically I raced in France the week before.
Oh yeah.
And then we all went straight to Italy for this Trophy Nations. My main focus, I honestly didn't know I was going to France before this, because it only made sense to go to that last EWS, because I was like, we're going to be in Europe anyway. There's no races. Why not go to the last EWS? So we raced that. I didn't do very well. I think I got like 45th, but I was so focused on this Trophy Nation stuff. And I was like, it was the only thing I was like worried about. I was scared, honestly, because there was so much pressure on us, because the year before, or no, it was 2 years. I can't remember. It was like 2019. Yeah. 2019 was when USA won, and it was the last Trophy Nations that happened because of COVID and everything. So there hasn't been one. And everyone was like, don't let us down. Don't let USA down. Like, and I was like, bro, do you see who we're going up against? Like France and New Zealand, Canada, they all three of their riders are all like in the top 10. Or have been on the podium, or are winning EWSs. Like, and then, but yeah, we did our absolute best there.
So tell me about the strategy, because this is a unique race for everyone who's listening, doesn't know, like I didn't know. This is a 1, 2, 3 timed event where you guys have to finish together or finish. Tell me about how you start and follow each other and how it's worked out.
So basically, you have like 2 minutes for however you want to drop. All three of you guys have to drop within like 2 minutes. I think it was like the 2 minute mark. Okay. So there's like, everyone had a different strategy. Everyone was either dropping every 30 seconds, 10 seconds or whatever. But our strategy, what worked for them in 2019 was they all dropped together and just followed Richie's wheel, or as much as they possibly could, because it's Richie. And so that's what we did. That's what we tried. Yeah. And so I went second, Nick went third, and
like
I remember
right on each other's wheel, like just right, like 1, 2, 3, right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we practiced, it was like one of those tight stages, like really short, tight stages. We all stuck together. It was fine.
Yeah.
And it was like, we used that order. It was Richie, me, Nick. And then we went to like the longer there was a couple stages that were like 15 minutes long.
Whoa.
And we were like, yeah, dude, it was like by far the hardest race of the year, 100%. It was like 7K of climbing on the weekend, and like there was 2 15-minute stages. But anyway, we go to the first stage or whatever, and I remember following Richie down, and like his practice speed was like my race run. I'm not even kidding. Like,
he is that fast.
I think I think he's been there before. I can't. Yeah, he's raced that stage before, and so he probably knew a little bit about the trail. But I just remember like practicing with him, and I was like, dude, like if I were to go race it, that would have been my race time, probably what we just practiced.
Right.
which was crazy. And that's like what I learned so much from him. Like, that's what I need to do for next year is like go to these practice runs, acting like it's your race run, and then capitalize on that for your next run. Cause you only get 2 runs in these, you only get to see the track once for EWS stuff. And it's like insanely hard because for me, I've only raced these venues like never. So it's my first time. All these other people have seen these venues or have raced these venues. So it's like, honestly, their 3rd, 4th, 5th time. So it's brand new for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we stuck with that technique of just following Richie. It was me. We stuck with that same lineup the entire weekend was Richie, me, Nick. And then I remember going, so it was practice day, pretty big practice day. We got a couple shuttles. Only like, I think we only got 2 shuttles and then we had to climb everything. So it was like pretty big day. And then we had race day and it was a little bit greasy on stage 1, I remember. And so it was a little bit scary. And we drop and we're all good for like probably the first 8 minutes. Then we hit this like high speed, like left corner sand rut. And my front end just dips down into this rut and go over the bars and like get tangled up and everything. And I was like, no way this just happened. Like I just went a full season pretty much with no crashes and like just blew it pretty much. But at the time, like, you know, there's so much going through my head. And I was like, I don't want to let these guys down.
Yeah.
You know? And so I get back up and Nick, I remember, comes by me and he's like, you good? So like, basically they take your all 3 of your times and combine them for one big time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So like we all like Nick's not going to stop for me, you know, like he's going to get done as quick as possible.
Unless he had to,
so,
like a mechanical, could he stop and help? Or is it just not?
Well, I mean, it would ruin his time.
Plan? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even a game plan. Like mechanical, you're out.
Just get down. I got you.
Yeah. And so I crash and I remember going by, he like goes by me. He's like, you good? I'm like, yeah, go. And so I get up, this is like probably like 8 minutes in. And I get back up and I remember I was like charging so hard to catch back up to him because I could like see him kind of. Yeah. And I remember I caught back up to him. I like was like 1 corner away, like catching their wheel again. And I was like, holy crap, like I'm going to catch them and like follow their wheel and we're going to have like a good time or whatever. Dude, as soon as I like started thinking like that, I just absolutely made the worst mistake ever and just like completely just straight line this like jump and just smoked a tree. Just obliterated this tree with my shoulder. And I honestly thought I broke my collarbone at the time. I like got up, I was like lost my breath. I was like, oh, like, you know, that feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, the hardest slam I've had all year, like probably ever actually. Yeah. I was lucky to be walking after that. But yeah, I get back on my bike and it was right before a climb too. And I started climbing and then I was like so fed up. I was like, I just ruined it. I was like, I ruined it. Yeah. I get done and they're all waiting for me and they're like, you good? And he was like, they're all like, yeah, you're good. Like, what's it called? Like, just get ready for the next stage pretty much. And I was like, they knew I was pissed off because I like didn't really talk or anything. I remember like, dude, there was like shit flying off my bike and stuff. I didn't have a tube and everything. And so I had like this band, like the stands band, for my tube. And it like was just like hanging there and I like grabbed it and I'm like riding up the state, like up this transfer with it in my hand. And Richie just like yanks it out of my hand. And he's like, let me have that. He probably knew I was like so like frustrated and stuff. Yeah. And like, yeah, it was just like a bad moment for me. Like I needed to like just forget about it, but it's hard to forget something like that because it's such a big deal.
That's a big.
So yeah, and then we went to.
Yeah, it's a memorable stage for sure.
Yeah, so then we were actually in 5th place at the time, and we're like, okay, this is not bad. Like we're not out of the game. So then we go to stage 2, and we were like, should we keep the same rotation? Really, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm good. Yeah. And so I was like, we're doing this thing. Like I'm pissed off. Like I still have my confidence. Like I'm good. So then this is another 15-minute stage. And we drop in and it's really, really pedally at the start, like just flat. And then there's like, I think there's like 3 climbs in it, like 3 decently climb, like, I don't know, like 30, 40-second climbs. And I remember going up to it, and Richie was just pedaling his ass off like he does. And he like, I remember him looking back at me, and he was probably like, what the heck? He's still on my wheel.
Yeah.
But I held on to him as long as I could. And then I remember at the very bottom, there was like this roller hump thing. And I like just came into it way too hot and went over the bars real quick, but it wasn't too crazy. It was pretty quick. And then I got back on, and I was only like 8 seconds off his time, something like that. But
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good
it was
guy
good.
to charge and follow. I mean, that's going to make you faster, right? That's how we all get faster, is following faster people than us. And what better?
Yeah,
guy
no,
to
I
follow
learned so
down?
much from that.
Yeah, I bet.
That race, I was just like, I was like taking notes the entire time, and I was like, it's not like, I was like, I can go his speed. Like, I can go as fast as him.
Yes.
It's just like a matter of like putting the perfect like race. Like, I don't know. There's just so many little techniques that he has that I'm like trying to pick up on, and I'm like, I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, and then we end up being third. So
third, that's right. Third overall. That's amazing.
We got third
that's
overall.
Gotta feel amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's cool. Did the celebration happen that night, or did you guys wait? Or tell me about that. It's gotta happen out there. I'm sure you guys celebrated.
Yeah, so it was like everyone's end of the season. It was the last race before off season. So
sure.
I think everyone kind of had fun. I can't remember Richie. I don't remember where Richie went. It was just basically me, like, and our crew. We all, we had our podium and stuff. And then there was like a DJ, like a live DJ and stuff.
Nice.
And so we like hung out and partied and stuff that night. It was a lot of fun. And then we had to be up early the next morning for a flight to Barcelona. That's when the real fun happened.
So you finish a killer season, and now we're off to Barcelona. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So we went to.
Was this your choice? Did you get to choose, or what? How did you pick Barcelona? What's going on?
I actually didn't choose this. I think Jake Keller chose it.
Okay.
So it was me, Jake Keller, and Aiden Chapin.
Nice.
And we all rented a spot for a week in downtown Barcelona, and it was like the crazy experience I've ever had. Just awesome. Like, I don't know, I've never been there. It was like we rented bikes every day. We just did a lot of fun stuff. Ate good
just
food.
No agenda, just kind of on your own. No race agenda, no workout agenda.
Exactly, like nothing to worry about. It was just a lot of fun, and we actually ended up meeting up with Jeff Malamed and Remy. Nice. You know those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we met up with them, and we went to a Barcelona soccer game.
Oh, nice. I've never been to a European soccer game. I bet you that was amazing.
Yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun. We were just like ripping the little e-bikes. We were like, this is so sick. Like just ripping the e-bikes with like some of the fastest mountain bikers in the world right now. Just downtown Barcelona going to a soccer game.
And the thing is, nobody knows who you are either. I bet over there. Did they? I mean, they know like Remy and stuff, but it was crazy, dude. It was awesome. Like it was like a 20-minute bike ride, and we were just mobbing through the streets, causing ruckus. It's true American style, right, Colton? True American style.
Yeah,
that's how we do it. Yeah, causing ruckus. Yeah. So what? Where are you at now? Where are you at? What's going on?
I'm in Santa Clarita right now, California.
Nice. And
that's where I'm at. And this is where I'll be for the next month and a half.
Nice. Well, there's talks about me coming out there to see you guys too. There's some serious talks on the books about doing a couple day in the life of you guys training. So,
dude, I'm excited for that because it's just be cool to see. Like I've always been talking to people and saying like I want to show like what it's truly like to like see what it's like to be like a professional mountain biker and like what a day in the life is like for us.
I think a lot of people would love to see it. I'd love to experience it myself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of work does go into what you guys do. You guys do not just show up and practice and race. This is now
Yeah,
a
exactly.
year-round thing for you guys.
No, yeah. And like, I wish people could see like how hard our training days are and like what is going into these results. You know what I mean?
So it's not all
but yeah,
shuttle rides and cooler beers. Is that not the way it's going down out there?
dude, I wish. No, it's not. We got like our Aiden and I's schedule is pretty busy during the weeks. Like basically just walk you through like what a week is for us. Like we Monday ride, Tuesday we go to the gym, we go to our trainer Cletus. And then Wednesday ride, like probably intervals or whatever. Thursday we go back to the gym with Cletus, and then Friday ride, Friday's off. Saturday, Sundays, like when we do our 4 hour rides, like big days, like 5K and up days. But yeah, that's kind of like what a normal week looks like, but it's more complicated than you think.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm gonna come out there.
It sounds easy. Yeah, it sounds easy, but every night when I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, I'm pretty smoked.
Who's putting together these routines for you in the trails, and like who finds this stuff for you guys? Are you guys on your own with that?
We're kind of on our own. So Aiden's lived here all of his life. So I'm at Aiden's house right now.
Okay.
And so I've been staying with him I stayed with him last year at this time. And I'm very thankful for them for letting me stay here. So because it works out really good for the both of us. Because we push each other a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, going into a season and not having someone to train with is very difficult.
I can imagine. Just
you pushing yourself and going by yourself every day, like you're gonna get burnt out so quick, and you're gonna get burnt out no matter what. Like, I don't care who you are, a superhuman or whatever, but like you're not gonna have fun with it doing the stuff that we do by yourself.
So what? How long will you be out there for? You say another month or so?
Yeah, so I'm out here until March 6th. I got team camp up until the 12th, and then I'm going to Tasmania for the first EWS.
So that was my next question. Are you going to do EWSs even though they're not in North America this year? You're going to travel?
Yep, I'm going to go to the first two. I got a pretty busy. So I've been training pretty hard. I've actually started the earliest season so far. I've started training. Like last year, I didn't start training until February 1st, but I've been training since December 1st this year. So I'm very curious on how this is going to go. Just because of how long my season is and how many races I have. And I've been training probably harder than I ever have right now. So I don't know, we'll see, but hopefully it pays off.
Well, don't burn yourself out too early. I mean,
no, I know, but just the fact that, like, I don't know, just you want to win, like, you know how it goes. Like, I'm doing everything I can right now, and I push myself and like racing with Aiden or training with Aiden and stuff. Like, we push each other so much right now, like in the gym and out of the gym and on the bikes and stuff. Like, it's kind of crazy to see, and I hope you guys can come watch.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be following you for sure. And then, so when does the EWS kick off? When's that race start?
I think it's March 23rd.
Okay, wow. So it is coming up.
Yeah. So that's why I've been like training. I've been training a ton just because like I wanted to have a good result there.
Sure.
Like I want to come out swinging and being like, just I want to do really good.
Is your whole schedule set for the year?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we got those first two EWSs, and then I'm actually going to New Zealand for like 3 weeks or like 2 weeks after that. Yeah. Just to ride. And then I come back for Sea Otter, and then I'm doing TDS, and then what is after that? And then the first BME.
Yeah, right, Arkansas. Wow, man,
yep.
That's a lot of stuff going on between now and I guess May is the first BME. Is that right? Yeah, May.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I know how fast this month goes by. and I'm going to be at this first EWS before I know it.
Yeah, sure. Whole Maxxis team going over with you?
I'm actually not sure. I think, I don't know if you saw, but Leah Westerman's on the team.
Okay.
She's one of the new girls on the team.
Sure.
So I don't know if she's coming yet or not, but yeah, Drew will be there. And then I fly in a little bit. I fly in like a week and a half early. I think it's like a week early with the EWS team. So Robin Wollner, and Zach and Rafa and Cole.
That's cool.
So I'm staying with them for like a week before.
Well, man, it sounds like you've got an awesome support system, doesn't it? Like you've got all your bases covered. Your support system is top notch. You got to feel good about that.
I'm super happy with how everything's been going. So
yeah. And you'll continue with Ibis this season?
Yep. I'm with Ibis. New logo right here.
Yeah, I like it. Other side. Yeah, I like it. That's good.
I was looking at the camera and I thought I was on the right side right here.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man.
But
I went to Ride Rock Creek. Have you heard of Ride Rock Creek on the internet yet?
I haven't.
East Coast thing. You know Nico Morale?
Yeah.
Downhill guy. He's from right where I'm at in Asheville. And he's been blowing up the mountain bike scene out here. So, with his new bike. Yeah. He's definitely on this whole frameworks kick. And he basically has built himself with another guy, Dave Lamond. I'll give this guy a shout out. He's being a big financer in this whole thing. So, but they're putting together some shuttle places for us finally. So, like, Nico's got this badass little training ground, bike breaking trails out there. So, and then Max Beaupre rides for Cannondale.
Yep.
He's out there. He rides there. He's a trail builder for them.
He's crazy kid.
Oh my God. You should have seen him today. I was out there this morning riding and he was just like, you can't even hold him down for a conversation. He's a mile and
No.
First to the top. He jumps on the bike and you just see his head just bobbing through the woods. And he's so fast. He's so fast.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So I went out there this morning and, but anyway, I'm riding good right now. So I'd like to come out there and ride with you guys too.
Yeah, dude, the riding out here is super sick.
Is it?
Yeah, I love it out here.
Rain? Did you guys get pounded with rain and storms?
Yeah, so a lot of the trails have like a bunch of rain ruts in them, and they're pretty destroyed. But we've got some secret stuff, or like Aiden's got some secret stuff. So we've been doing shuttle laps over on his like personal trails and stuff. So
who's your shuttle driver?
It kind of varies.
Yeah. Whoever you can talk into for the day?
Well, kind of like whoever's like dry. Like if we have like 5 people, we'll either switch off or whatever, or go ride a couple and then you go drive a couple. Something like that.
So you got a little bit bigger crew than just you and Aiden.
Yeah.
I lost you, dude. Come back.
There you are.
All right. Don't touch anything. You're frozen.
What's going on?
You're frozen up.
I know. What the heck?
Yeah.
I could. Oh, there we go.
Can you see? Are you frozen?
I like this. Yeah, you should keep it like this.
Okay. You like talking to me just straight like this?
No, I'm good.
You don't want to see yourself.
Yeah. Can we do another podcast?
Dude, we can do these every day, all day, man. I mean, this is easy for me. I talked to Portia yesterday.
Dude, I was like, oh, did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went good. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. Like I had to get a whole education on this stuff, and it went good though. She's awesome. She was easy to talk to, and we bullshitted the same thing like Trophy of Nation. She's got good stories there too.
Yeah.
So she's awesome. She's up in Bend, Oregon, killing it right now, training. So
Yeah. We were with her not too long ago.
nice. Riding?
Are you going to be able to like edit some things out?
It's going to be completely edited. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Cause
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I'm just a weirdo sometimes.
No, you're not. You're great. You're exactly what I need. You're exactly what I need for this. I need someone
Really?
who can, yes,
Dude,
yes.
I'm so bad at talking.
No. Not talking about stuff you know about. I mean, if I asked you to talk about how to grow a tree out in the backyard, maybe that's different, but
Yeah. So back here,
you know what you're doing. So it's easy. And
Nah.
one of the main reasons why I wanted you is you might be out as number one. I don't know yet. The first podcast, we're so close. We're so close. We've got all the websites and social media done and all the avenues for Apple and Spotify and all this stuff. So we've been working really hard at it, and I wasn't going to put it out if it didn't look pro, So
Yeah.
I was not going to go about it if any other way. So once I was happy,
Dude,
with
I want to get in that studio next to you.
I've got
like
a couch
I want to
over
be,
here, too.
I want to be like next to you. Like, can we figure something out where I fly out there for a day?
Talk to Drew.
Dude, done.
I've got rooms.
Like,
We've got
I'll
trails.
fly out there for a day and let's do it. Let's do like a one-on-one podcast.
Oh man, that would mean the world to me. If you were actually serious, that would be the best thing ever.
Dude, I'm serious. Maybe don't upload this one yet, and we could just talk about redo it all.
No, we're uploading. This is going straight to the editor, and this is going online. People are going to freak over this.
But yeah, I want to actually kind of talk a little bit more about how crazy my life was last year.
Yeah. Well, let's do another one.
You want to like we don't want to talk about it now?
Yeah, go for it. Well, tell me what's on your mind, because what we can do is just like all this gets compressed. So if I take an hour and a half out of footage, like the dude's going to compress it to an hour. So, or whatever.
I think this is going to be like the best part. You're going to have a lot of questions and stuff, how it goes. Dude, I wish you would have told me this at the beginning, because I would have been so nervous.
Well, I told you it was going to be easy, man. I told you it was just going to be a conversation.
No, I know.
That's why I wanted you as one of my first conversations, because they're lining me up with all kinds of guests, and which is great, but a lot of them, I don't know who they are. They're in the industry one way or another. So it's just going to be
do you got time to talk?
Yeah, dude, I got all night.
All right. We can get into a little bit more about how everything dude, I was supposed to be, I'm not going to get into like the dirty details, because the whole reason this transition from Go Green to Maxxis was like, it wasn't, something happened with Go Green, and I'm not going to talk about it. Just maybe down the road we could talk about it, but I don't know if you heard stuff, but I'm not going to say anything more about it. But going in, I was living with Aaron at the time, and we were in Buena Vista, and so then stuff went down. I had to move out, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I had my car and my stuff, and I literally had nowhere else to go. So I called my brother and my sister-in-law up, and I was like, they lived in Denver at the time, and I was like, can I, like, told them about the situation, and like, yeah, come stay here as long as you want. And so this was this beginning of December, and it was like really hard. It was December 1st or whatever. I think it was December 1st. I moved out there to Denver. It was like Lakewood. And so I move in there. I get a job. This was literally 1 year ago.
Yeah.
It was last year coming into the 2022 season. So I didn't know I was going to race. I thought I was going to hang it all up. I was like, I'm not in the right mindset for this year. Like, all this stuff is going down. Like, I was going through a breakup at the time, and this whole situation was going down. And I was like, dude, I'm miserable right now. Like, this sucks. And living with them, I got a job at Lifetime Fitness in Denver. I was working at the gym from 3 a.m. to noon. the worst possible shift you can get, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I worked there all the way up until it was like December 1st, and I worked there up till it was the very end of January. And dude, I was like so over everything. I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I was like extremely depressed at the time, and thankfully my sister-in-law was there for me at the time, and it was like really good. It felt good, and um, we became really close and stuff, and started talking more about my life and stuff, and I was like, dude, I dropped everything, and that's when the Chapins brought me into their house, and that's how I like grew like extremely close with them, and I lived with them from, when was it, like February 1st is when I started training last year, and February 1st up until I stayed with them for a while, like until like the first couple races. But yeah, that's how it first started. Like I didn't even know I was gonna race. I was like so over everything. I was like,
so when did you and Maxxis get together and your other sponsors? Like when in that gray area of when you left Buena Vista to where you went with your
so
sister, like how did that happen?
this was going on. I was talking to Cy. Cy is the one that kind of got me this deal at the time. Cy with Maxxis, over at Maxxis. He like told me, he was like, hey, like we're looking for an athlete for next year. We're going to set up a team. I was like, done. Like sign me up. Like let's do this thing. And yeah, and I like started to get like more information about the team with Drew. I was contacting Drew at the time, and it was going on for like a couple months, like back and forth, like from November, December. And then I signed the contract in January 1st. I signed the contract, and I was like I honestly, like I almost came to a point where I was like, I'm not racing this year. Like so close to saying like I'm not racing, like I'm not in the right mindset. Like just because like I was working. I literally was like, I would work, go to the gym, and go to sleep.
Yeah.
That was literally all I did. It was like the worst thing ever. Like I was so miserable. And I just remember calling Aiden, and I was like, dude, can I come live with you? And he was like, of course. And I came out here February 1st, and like just remember it was like I probably had the most fun of my entire life, like those couple months, just because I was like, this is what I want to do. Like I'm having fun. I'm training. We trained our asses off that year, and like I had nothing to lose, and like that's probably why I did like good last season, was just because of like, dude, I put my head down and grinded, and so did Aiden. Like we just pushed each other so much in the off season, and just like from February, March, April, just doing what I'm doing right now. Like we're pushing each other, going to the gym, exactly what we're doing right now. So,
well, if it worked last season and now you guys should be super dialed in, this sounds like a safe space, a good routine, good people, good support. And
yeah. So yeah, and then it is kind of crazy. Like, there was like, I can't remember when it was. It was like March time. I went to team camp, and I remember I left Aiden's. I had my Dodge Durango at the time, my mom's old car. It was like it's a piece of crap. And I remember I have like all my stuff. I have a suitcase, like everything that I own pretty much in that car. And I remember driving, and I drove to, I can't remember where I drove. I think I drove to like Fontana area, and I slept in a hammock. I was sleeping in a hammock in the back of my car for like a couple nights. And I was like, dude, I remember, right? I have notes in my phone of like saying like to myself, like, this isn't happening, or like saying like this is happening for a reason. Like I'm gonna do good this season. Like I'm struggling so hard right now. Like I'm gonna, like I dedicated so much to my race season, like sacrificed so much to get where I was last year. And I remember sleeping in my car a couple of nights, and then I went to Crestline to do shuttle laps with Aiden and them.
you're frozen. Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Shuttle laps with Aiden.
we were doing shuttle laps with Aiden. I was still sleeping in my car at the time. It was just like, I would have stayed with Aiden, but I was on my way to team camp. So I was like staying in my car. Like we were 2 hours away from his house. And I remember shuttling with like the Trek factory team there with like Pedro Burns and Hattie and stuff. And I remember sleeping in my car at Crestline. And I've never been so scared in my entire life. Dude, there was like this creepy car and stuff, like it seemed like following me. I was just freaked out. I got out of there that night and ended up driving to Phoenix and then had team camp there. And so then this is when it got really complicated. My life got really complicated at the time because I didn't know where I was going to be. Like all my family is in Chicago. So I don't, and besides my brother is in Colorado. So I don't really have anyone that I can go to, like my parents' house or whatever, to train. And so I was like, dude, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So my dad actually bought an RV at the time, I think midwinter, and it was stored in Phoenix. And so after team camp, I went and picked up my dad's RV, like this 36-foot RV. I've never driven an RV in my entire life. Okay. This big ass rig. And I go pick it up and drive it to this RV resort. And I'm living out of it for like probably a month. I was living on it for a month. I think it was around a month. And it was just after that month, I was like, I gotta leave Phoenix. And this was on the way to like Durango Nationals time. It was like to get to those races. And I wasn't gonna fly. And because I didn't have anywhere to stay. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to drive the RV. So I drove the RV all the way from Phoenix to, where was it? Buena Vista. Mm-hmm. I drove it to Buena Vista and parked it in the mountains, like where you could get like free RV parking. And it was the world's sketchiest thing ever. It was like going down this little alleyway to get this RV. And I parked it there 2 weeks at a time. And I just remember I had to go back and forth to move it just because you know, like the 2 week rule or whatever, where you can't keep it there for 14 days. And I just remember it was so stressful at the time, like going through my season. Cause like I was telling like Drew, like, hey, I need to go, like telling him like what town to fly into or what city to fly into.
Yeah.
And it was just like really confusing for him because he never knew where I was and stuff. And so I would like have to fly to Denver, find a ride to this RV, move the RV. It was just super complicated, but that was my season. It was very stressful.
This was all last season.
This was literally while I was like with you, like, or talking to you.
Idea.
This was,
I had no idea that was.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like not too many people know. Like there's like a couple of people that were like, where do you even live? And I'm like, bro, I don't live anywhere. Yeah,
well,
but yeah, it was like
you,
extremely
man. Good for you for like. Listen, nobody gets away from depression. You know, it creeps in. It hits all of us at different times.
Yeah.
If you've ever been through a good bout of depression, man, coming out of the other side, there's stuff waiting for you. And as long as you can press through and just realize this might be happening for a reason. That's helped me tremendously. It's just like, this is happening 100%. For a reason.
Dude,
got to get through it.
That was literally my mindset going into the season. I was like, dude, there's got to be like a sunrise at the end. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be good coming out of this. And that's like what fueled my race season though. I was like, dude, I've put in the work. I've done everything I possibly needed to do for this season. Like, what could possibly? I had nothing to lose.
Yeah. How great!
So I was like,
that? I mean, how
free
of a feeling is that? Just to be like, I've got nothing to lose. I
just like put my head down and trained and did good that season.
Yes, you did. Fast.
But yeah, it was crazy. I wish maybe next time when we're on the podcast or like if I'm there, I'll show you like. I'll put like an album together and like I'll have like a bunch of pictures and I'll like talk about them or something. But it was like it was kind of crazy like how everything went down.
So you got real reflective then in it? Is that what you're saying? Like taking pictures of stuff or writing stuff down, like journaling?
Yeah, like pictures and stuff. I had like a journal at the time and like was writing stuff down and just like everything, like
just stuff to keep you going.
I had dude, I had so much alone time. Dude, I was all over the place. Like, I can't even think of like, just, I was sleeping in parking lots. I was in a Walmart parking lot at one point, like in between races.
I had no idea. I had no idea this was going on.
Yeah, I know. And like, I had some amazing people be like, hey, like if you need to stay or whatever, but I'm like, dude, like I don't know. Like I was so over everything, just over everything during, and I just remember talking to Drew. I was telling Drew, and I was like, when was it? It was after Brian had, I didn't know where I was going. Like I had nowhere to go because, what was it? My dad was taking the RV home back to Chicago, and I was like, bro, like I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, I got you, and rented me an Airbnb for like 2 weeks in Denver.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So it was awesome for that. But yeah, it was just like that whole season was kind of just like, just crazy. And I'm hoping, dude, what kind of sucks is I'm going to have to I might have to be going through that again this year.
No. Well, it's a good story. And hey, if it worked last time, maybe that's what you need to keep you motivated. Who knows?
Hey, you never know.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're going to travel every race from as a homeless pro racer and just win.
Well, yeah.
crowds.
So my plan for this year, I can rent a place, but there's no point in, I'm going to be gone for the March and April. Like minimum, that's $1,000 a month. That's $2,000 wasted for no reason. And then the only month I'm really like going to be home is May and August, I guess you could say. But I'm just like, I don't like, there's just no point for me to rent a place.
Well, part of like what I always wanted, like part of this podcast is to kind of get to know these stories of like what is everybody going through in the summer? Because I have my own weird schedule of and I just work on tour now, but you guys are racing, training, traveling. It's just a true traveling circus. I know I keep saying that, but it's nuts. It's crazy. And the stuff that you guys go through and then to stay on tip top shape and stuff. It's it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And then you throw in a story like this on top of it. Man, what a season. What a season.
Yeah, dude, it's hard just because of like, you want to be in a stable mental spot. You know what I mean? Like going into races, like you want to be like mentally strong, like you need to be in the right mindset going into these races. But it's like last year taught me so much. Like if you can get into the right mode and like just forget about those things and just like shut your brain off and just go do what you know what you're capable of doing, like you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, how fortunate are you to have mountain biking in your life then? I mean, with the struggles off the racetrack and stuff like that, I mean, you're pretty fortunate to have this in your life.
Yeah, dude, I'm extremely grateful. Like honestly, like 2 years, I mean, even last year, I was like, when's there going to be a year where I can like make this like a full-time job or just like get paid to do what I love? And this year finally feels amazing. It feels like unreal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure it feels unreal, but also it's got to kind of feel like this is just the beginning.
You read my mind. I was like, dude, I was like thinking before in the car on the way here to be like on our way home today. I was like, honestly, this is really just the beginning of everything right now. It's kind of just started.
Yeah. Well, it's cool for me to know you in this early stage and know you before. I mean, you're just such a cool ambassador to the sport and like just welcoming and a good spirit. And
yeah, no, and I hope I can like, I don't know, just get better. I want to be better at social media and showing like what's going on. And like, I want people to see like what's going on, like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like traveling and like missed bags and like what you're eating and like what's going on in the house before a race. Like no one sees that. Everyone just sees like, oh, he woke up, he's going to go race his bike and then go travel back to the next spot. Like it sounds so easy, but it's like, dude, there's so much to it.
And that's why one of my motives of doing this podcast is I'm fortunate enough now to have some connections and like yourself and be able to reach out to people, because there's nothing better for me as an amateur racer. I'm now in the industry working, but when I show up to those venues and then people start pouring in and you start hearing these stories unfold, and it's, I mean, you couldn't even script this stuff to what you hear.
No, I know.
It's absolutely crazy. And so I was like, oh man, we've got to get some of these stories out and start talking to people, because number one, you guys deserve a platform. We believe here at BME that you guys are just, you know, the rock stars of our world. So we can't wait for this season to kind of bring some fun things into the mix. Like, we're going to try to have some autograph sessions and get you guys set up with posters and things like that we can actually, like, you know, it's about time that you guys are known for being, I mean, top athletes, and not only top athletes, but enduro athletes. I mean, to me, there's no tougher discipline in the sport of mountain biking. So.
No, I totally agree. I think the autograph session would be sick. Like, to get these little kids to like see, just like to have people to look up to at these races, you know, to like, I remember like going into these races, like seeing like Cody Kelly, for example. I'm like, dude, I remember following him on Instagram like 6 years ago and being like, dang, like maybe I could shoot him a message and like he'll look at it, you know, just like little stuff like that could make a little kid's day of like responding to a DM or like a comment or something. Like, I love doing that stuff because like I've been in that position of like trying to get their attention. You know what I mean?
Everyone that I've met on the BME tour is in that right mindset, like you just described. It's so cool. It's so cool to see that interaction that everyone has there, from the Groms to the amateur to the open to the I mean, there's some older people out there like Aaron, number one. Like, those guys are out there charging it as grown men. So, and one of the coolest things about the whole sport that got me excited about it was, like, I got to race the exact same trails as the pros are racing. And that was kind of unbelievable to me when I showed up to BME. I didn't know that they were going to, I didn't know that it was going to be all encompassing. I thought we would have our own trails as amateurs or open, but I was quite surprised.
It's pretty cool for you guys. Because like you were saying, just like you see truly how gnarly it is to go at like a pro level speed. You know what I mean? Like, you guys obviously aren't going like the fastest times of the day, or I mean, who knows? You could
Not
be
even close.
But
you kidding me?
But yeah, you just like, you're like, dang, these guys are going 36 seconds faster than me. I thought I was tapped out.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember that short stage at Ironton. It was like you guys were putting heaters down like 40 seconds. And then like, I remember at the end of the weekend, we were trying to just break a minute. Like, we were trying to break a minute on that same stage.
It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. And just the fact that, we as amateurs get to rub shoulders with the pros. There's not a whole lot of other sports that I can think of off the top of my head that are kind of like that, where, we actually get to chat and even get tips. Like, I was like, just how I was riding with you guys in Big Sky, just to watch and observe and get tips from the pro riders. It's a unique sport that way,
For sure. What would you guys like to see from like from your guys' perspective? Like, what would you guys like to see as like a person that's not as like a high elite athlete? Like, what do you guys want to see?
What do we want to see as what do you mean? What do you explain?
Like in social media, or like what we do every day, like that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, sure. I mean, me as a consumer, I love to see the training stuff. Number one, I love to see you guys just putting in that random, like the Instagram you posted of just the cornering you were doing, like just slaying corners for a day or something. That doesn't look like fun to a lot of people, but that's the kind of
dude. That's the thing. Done. Like, that's what I need to get. That's what I need to get better at, though. Is like the whole social. Like, when I like look at that stuff and see the videos, I'm just like, it wasn't anything special for me. Like, it wasn't crazy, but like the people, half my followers are people that like probably don't know how to do that even, you know? And so it's like, it's cool for them to see what I'm doing. And I just need to like put that in their like, I don't know. I just like
any content.
I need to post more.
I mean, anything's good. You know, when you're a fan like I am of the sport and fortunate enough to be in it, man, I'll watch you guys eat lunch. You know, it's fine with me. I don't care what you put out. Like,
dude, I eat chicken, rice, and broccoli every day.
Every day?
You don't want to see me eat lunch. Yeah.
Every day?
Every day. We have it for lunch every single day.
And is this because, are you a bland eater? Are you like 5? Or are you actually doing nutritional macros and micros and stuff?
No, I'm not counting anything. But, dude, just recently, listen to this. We have this like really good teriyaki sauce. It's called Yoshida's. Yeah. And last year, dude, I'm telling you, we're on the same exact program. We're not switching anything up. Good. And last year we were eating this like chicken, rice, and broccoli with this Yoshida's teriyaki sauce. And this year I come here and this is what we're eating: chicken, rice, and broccoli and Yoshida's teriyaki sauce. And I've had like food poisoning from it. I've been shitting myself like no other from it. So I'm eating it plain.
Oh, just to get it
It's terrible.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
Fuel the body.
But yeah,
right?
I'm not kidding. Like when we're at Camp Chapin here, that's what we call it. And we stick to the same things every single day, like same routine pretty much every single day. We got the gym, we got the riding session. We eat the same things every day, pretty much. Pretty healthy. We drink a ton of water, supplements, everything. So nothing.
I got to come check this out firsthand. I've got to get out there.
Yeah, like you're gonna be like, dang, like they have the routine down.
Yeah. Well, that's what people want to know. I think that's what they want.
I know. So this is what I want to like start carrying like I want to start doing like a not like vlog type style videos, but like I want to just like start videotaping like what we're doing in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I like want people to see it, but I'm so bad at talking to cameras. I get so awkward. And this is a perfect example of like, this is a good transition of like trying to talk to people. Like I'm going to get better from here on out. I promise.
This is perfect, dude. You're a natural.
No, I'm not.
Well, just because you're enthused about it, and that's all that matters. I mean, it doesn't matter.
See, I got to get better, and I'm going to get better. Dude, I start thinking a lot in here, and then I'm like, dude, am I saying weird shit?
Nah. Maybe we'll get you some more exercise, then you can be a little co-host for me. We're definitely going to do some live events with all this equipment. I'm going to haul this equipment to all the races. So,
dude, sign me up because we're going to work on it every single time. I'm going to start putting like just like video cameras up around the house and just start talking to them.
It is weird to start talking to a camera because watch, like right now I'm talking directly. Like, watch, I'll show you. Like if you talk directly into the camera, I have a display to the left of me that shows everything that's going on. But if I talk to this camera, I'm talking to the word Sony right now. I'm like, hey, Sony, how you doing? So it's really, really weird. But if I turn my head to the corner, so now I'm looking at my monitor that shows everything that's going on in the studio. And I can see you and everything. So it is weird.
That's funny. And what other questions you have for me?
Oh, man, I don't know. We've covered a lot. I don't know what other questions. We've been going 2-hour podcast so far.
Shit. We can keep going. Impressive. No, I'm just kidding. You probably got to get to bed. What time is it there?
I don't even know. 11 something? Yeah.
Oh, dang. It's late. It's 8.
I appreciate that. It's okay. The nights here are quiet for me, man. My kids go to bed. So I have a 5 and an 8-year-old. So I don't even know if you knew that or not, but yeah. So
no, I didn't. Are they going to come to the races?
Yeah, for sure. They
I'd like to meet them.
Yeah, they're so awesome. They're 2 little girls and they're just rad little athletes almost. So they're cool. The 8-year-old has been mountain biking with me. And the 5-year-old is like she's on her own path, man. And wherever that goes, I'll follow. Like, this chick is hardcore. It's going to be cool to watch him.
That's awesome.
I know. Watch, I'll play you a little video.
That is awesome.
Watch this.
No way.
I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
That is so funny. Is that the room you're in right now?
Yeah.
That is so sick.
I know. I set this up and they were just, especially my older one, she's very into music.
Dude, it was like a karaoke session.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you, I got very, very, very educated on electronics and podcast equipment, and it works. It's funny. It's a trip.
That's awesome.
I know. So I took my girls when I raced my first BME at Big Sky when I met you. My wife and kids came out there, and it actually like shocked them a little bit. It actually like, because it was so hot and like everybody was dropping from heat exhaustion, and it was like a real rough couple days. Like for them to see me kind of like hitting my max a little bit. Yeah, kind of worried them a little bit, and I didn't know.
I bet.
Yeah, but I didn't know it. I didn't even know any of this was going on until the next summer comes around, and I was either going to sign up. That's how it started. I was going to sign up for more races, and then I saw a job opportunity, and then that path went that way. But I was telling my girls, I was like, oh, I got to go to a bike race this weekend. Got to go do my thing. And one of them got real emotional, and they're like, we don't want you to go. Like, we don't want you to get hurt. That was hard to watch. And I was like, well, good to know. I'm going to work this time. I'm not racing. So it was a bit of a shock for their system. Like, we've been to baseball games or whatever, and then I drug them right to Big Sky, Montana for
the gnarliest place ever to ride a bike.
I know. And I'd taken you saw the video, like I'd taken a couple diggers and the heat, and like I was beat up. So they saw that, and then they saw like I had my own little crew with me, like feeding me nourishments and hydration afterwards and stuff. So it was a little shock for them, but know. So, but they're definitely coming this year. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, did you talk to him more about it for this year coming up?
Oh yeah. I did completely. And even last year, I filled them in. They didn't come to any races last year. They were going to come maybe to Big Sky. I don't know. It was a weird schedule, but they're all in it now because they love a resort village. So as long as there's a resort village, like they're all in. They're all in. Yeah,
I'm about that too.
Me too, man. I love a resort village. I love it.
Yeah.
I know. That was the cool thing about like Purgatory and stuff.
That race was one of my favorites.
Purgatory was awesome, man. That mountain was huge. The mountain was fun, rideable.
Dude, that was such a hard day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let's get into that. Yeah. Right. Okay. Forgot about that.
Dude, what was the do you remember how many miles it was? Wasn't it like 40 something?
Yeah, it was right at 40 miles for 2 climbs, 2 descents, right? 40 was about a 40-mile day.
Yeah. And then, first day we went out to the backcountry, and it was way out there, just middle of nowhere pretty much. It was a 16-minute stage and then an 8-minute stage. Yeah. And I actually ended up winning the first stage by like, I think 6 seconds over Evan. And then the second stage, Jake Keller got me by a decent amount too. But yeah, I was in the lead by like, I think it was like around 10 seconds off the first day. I was like, okay, this is sick. And it was my first time leading actually, like being in first at a BME. And I remember going to the second day, I was so nervous. I've never been that nervous in my entire life. Dude, I felt like I had everything to lose. Like, I worked so hard, and I was like, okay, don't blow it. I was riding like a complete Jerry out there. And it like the first run, I like got absolutely smoked on day 2. by like 7 seconds. And I was like, bro, that lead's gone now. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then we went to, when was it? It was the World Cup DH. We did the World Cup DH run. And I remember, something happened, and we actually ended up being up there for like 30 minutes. I can't remember what happened, but something happened on World Cup DH, and we actually ended up staying up there for a while. And that's when I got the most nervous, because I was like, my brain was just twirling, and I was like, don't ruin this stage. Like, I only have 2 more stages left. I'm still in the lead. Like, all this stuff was going through my head. And I just remember people coming up to me and saying, like, I've been in your boat before, like, just go do your thing out there. And I remember dropping in, and I didn't feel like myself. Second corner in, just tucked the front end and just completely just blew it. And I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I like got down, and I was like, well, there goes my lead. And it was like, I think it was like a 7 second. Jake was like up by like 7 seconds going in the last stage. And Aiden was actually ahead of me too. I was in third now. And I was like, whatever, like maybe I could pull this back like decent amount. And I go into the last stage. I remember talking to Mick Hanna at the time, and he gave me some really good advice. And I dropped behind him in front of like everyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Everyone knew I was pissed. There was like this super long line of people, and like all the top pros were getting off the chairlift. There's just like, everyone was grouped up. And I remember Mick was like, do you want to follow me? And I was like, yeah. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. Like, everyone's just going to get in my head again. Like all this shit. I was so pissed. And I just like went down. I put a heater. I won the state. I'm pretty sure I won the state. I don't know if I won the state. I think I got second. But it was in front of Aiden and Jake, but it just wasn't enough. I got second.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
It was a good weekend. I learned so much from that, dude.
From what? Following Mick down, or what? The whole race?
No. From losing.
Yeah, from losing.
Dude,
why? Not to get in your head so much? Not to question your ability, and just like
kind
of thing?
Dude, I learned from it going with Cody.
Yeah.
The Brian head. Like, dude, I knew that like I went through it and I wasn't going to let it happen again.
Yeah.
I was like, there's just no way. Like, I had the confidence. I was like, this isn't going to happen twice. And I was like, this is all or nothing. That was my mindset in Brian head. I was like, dude, just don't make the same mistake twice. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. What do you think about the backcountry stages? I know there was different opinions rolling around last year. It was too much. It was too
purgatory.
Out. Yeah, I guess both. I mean, that was the gnarliest for sure. Just being so remote out there.
So can I be honest?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we want. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be completely honest.
Go for it.
Purgatory one, dude, I like that. I like that style of racing, of like having a big proper day, of like a big proper descent. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love that stuff. But for Brian Head, when we're out there for so long and having a 4 or 5 hour day in the backcountry, I'm expecting to have like a sick trail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be out there all day working my ass off. Like, I want to have like a sick descent and like a proper, I would say, like downhill, you know, like nothing too crazy pedally. But I think the Brian Head ones were just a little bit too pedally for everyone. Just like we were at 12,000 feet and like there really wasn't that much downhill. I don't know if you rode them, but there really wasn't much downhill. And like at our pace, like you're going to be pedaling the entire time.
Yeah.
You know,
no, that's good input. That's what we want. That's what we want from everybody. I mean, that's good input.
Yeah. Just like the fact that like, okay, you can go out there and just go ride it. And you're going to be like, okay, this is a lot of fun. Like, okay, yeah, you're going to go have fun on the trail. But when you're going race pace, though, completely different. Like when you're racing, every little flat section and just like not so like slanted downhill, you're pedaling your ass off.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that helps you out a little, but
yeah, that's good. That's good. I know that some of the sponsors had a little bit of problems too, just because it was not a visible day for them and the spectators just being so far out there. But
yeah, that too. And just like I don't get me wrong, the backcountry stages I think are a great idea for 2-day events. Like, yeah, I think a backcountry stage, like 1 or 2, like to get the race going, kind of like what the EWS does. They have like one pro stage to like kind of determine like what's going on, and I think it's a great idea. But yeah, I think all the racers are going to be like, okay, if we're going out here for a long day, it better be sick.
Well, duly noted, Mr. Peterson. Duly noted. So we'll take that, Peterson. So we'll take that into advice. I know I don't have anything. I'm not dealing with that this year. I don't think so.
Yeah.
We got a complete operations manager kind of guy working on it, and I know they've been in touch with places. I know Brian Head's opening up a whole new like mountain to us. So it's going to be good. I don't know.
Brian Head's doing a whole new mountain?
Like they got the side that was across the street, like the road.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that's what I was told anyway.
Okay.
So if that comes to truth, that'd be kind of cool just to explore, because nobody was over there. I don't know what was going on over there. But we weren't even allowed over there. So another racing question I have is I want this is a racing question for someone who races the Big Mountain Enduro stuff and the EWS stuff. This is a question to say, what's the difference? What's the pace like? Because I watch like the finish.
Good question.
Yeah. Like what's the difference there of pace, skill, level, terrain, like everything? What's the difference?
There's a huge difference. My mindsets going to both races are completely different, to be honest with you. Like BME, I have a stronger mindset. Like I'm going to risk everything I have. EWS, total different beast. I've got one EWS style racing. You only get one time to like see the track. Yeah. You get to ride down it one time. That is it. So like go into like any type of trail you've never ridden before, go ride it once, and then go race it. Yeah. That's what an EWS is. And it's extremely tricky because the EWS style tracks are like 10 minutes, not 2 minutes, like US racing. That's why it's so hard for us US racers to go over to Europe and do well. It's just because like we don't have the type of European style tracks they do. They got like these gnarly switchbacks, steep, like 8-minute tracks, where US has like these fast 2-minute tracks, like dusty, wide open, like nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? Yep. But it's just different. But the EWS style racing, it's harder. They're gnarlier. The tracks are gnarlier. They're longer. For example, when we were racing in Italy, we were in the saddle for like 6-7 hours, I think it was, of riding time. So I mean, like it's just a total different beast of racing in US racing versus EWS racing. It's like there's really nothing. I don't know. Maybe you guys can figure out. I don't like. It's hard. It's hard to like put in like you make it gnarly. BME makes it really gnarly, and people start complaining. You know, people are going to be like, we can't do that. That's way too hard. You know what I mean? So it's like you just have to go out and experience the EWS style, and that's why they have it. You know, it's like the best of the best racers combine and race the gnarliest stuff.
Yeah, those fields are beyond stacked. I mean, that is
so there's obviously you have to qualify in order to get into these races. So it's not just taking 150 racers, it's taking the 150 racers around the world that are like you go to Sweden and Germany, you got 3 of the best Germany racers, you got 3 of the best, you know what I mean? Like they're not all just random racers coming to these EWS races. They're just all the best in their country. Yeah. You know, that's why there's only like 4, like you only see 3-4 US racers go to these EWS, you know?
Yeah, exactly. How many are you going to do total this year, EWS?
I think 5 or 6.
That's a busy season, man. You're busy.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it a lot. So I'm just focused on staying healthy and training really hard. I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good goal to have right now.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you got the setup too with the Chapins there helping you. And I mean, that's so great.
Yeah, that's been a huge help. I couldn't thank them enough. So
Yeah.
thank you, Chapin family.
I want to get
It
Aiden on
works out
here.
really well for the both of us.
I got to figure out what it's like being your roommate and what you are like as a housemate. I got to get the details from somebody else.
Dude, we get along so well though.
That's cool.
It's good. Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool. Well, let's wrap this up, man. And then I think I'm seriously going to get on a plane here in the next, I don't know, 2 weeks, February sometime. We have to go to Arkansas.
You let me know what day and I'll shoot you my address. Maybe you guys can get like an Airbnb close. I don't know if BME would. Yeah. But yeah, get like an Airbnb close and then we can shoot. We can like literally shoot day in, day out. Like we dedicate our lives to like literally what we're, you know what I mean? Like gym, ride, you're going to see it all.
Oh, that'd be so good. And it'd be great for everybody. It's going to be great for BME to show what you guys are doing. It'd be good for the world to see what you're doing. And
we do a lot of fun stuff too. It's not like just training and gym. Like we go out and do fun stuff too. Like we go play frisbee golf and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Beyond the Ride. That's what this podcast is about.
Like,
Beyond the Ride.
Yeah, and just the other night we like what do we do? We went in Aiden's truck and we just went to the basketball courts and just played 1v3s and stuff.
Yeah. That's cool.
There's like little stuff like that. But yeah, my legs are extremely sore every single day. So
good deal. All right, man. Well, listen, let's jump off here. I want to say first, thanks, man. Thanks so much just for giving me your time and just doing this.
Yeah, of course. Huge. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
We got to do more.
Dude, I feel like I covered just a sliver of what's been going on.
Well, that's amazing because then anytime I have any kind of void in my schedule, I'm just going to call you and we're just going to lay down some recordings. And then I'll have a library of Colton from whenever I run out of material.
Perfect. I'm going to start setting up I'm going to start doing like this album or whatever. And I'm going to send you like these, like an album of pictures and you can just like put them up on the screen and ask questions about them.
Okay. That makes my job 100% easier. Not that this is hard or anything, just to sit here and talk. So.
No, yeah. I think it'd be sick though.
All right, man.
Well, sweet. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thanks so 100%. Much, buddy. And we'll come see you soon.
Sounds good. Let me know.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Bye.